Hi folks, it's already the beginning of summer and the garden is in full green. I thought to make you a quick tour of the garden. So these are new trees that I planted early in spring. All of them are doing fine. Peaches, etc. So here, these are big fava beans, broad beans with edible pods. See the flowers, they're blooming. And those are smaller type rounded fava beans, which we call Egyptian actually. The pods are not edible, so they will be left to dry and I will collect the seeds. That is the ideal fava bean to make Lebanese Egyptian fool. You can use this as well, but this one could be eaten green. That one, no. Here we have chickpeas. Oh, sorry, peas, not chickpeas. To be collected green. A bit of pumpkins on the edge that will be drawn on this dry land to extend there, just the roots to be in the wet soil. These are beetroots planted for the leaves. This is why it's planted quite densely. Here on both sides of this walkway we have, on one side we have here the cucumbers which will climb up, and here we have Armenian cucumbers. Don't ask me why they're called Armenian. Here I have okra, which is budding. Okra is planted a bit late because it likes the hot sun. And I have spontaneous potatoes growing here and there, and sometimes even tomatoes. And because of the compost, I mixed a lot of vegetables in the soil last year, and those which were mixed late in the season probably haven't decomposed well, but yeah, it's a nice surprise from time to time. Here we have some onions which I've planted for the seeds, they're flowering. And we have lots of garlic. I have garlic in several places. And here we have strawberries. I don't know if you see them. Not many. Let's go. Cherry trees bearing fruit, not ripe yet. Our place is a bit colder than other places in Armenia, so we have cherries in the market, but mine are not ready yet. So here we have a bit of chickpeas. These I planted for the kids to see how it grows and eat them green. I don't know if you've tried it, but it's really very tasty. I remember when I was a kid in Lebanon, they used to sell chickpeas with the bunch, and you can pick from the pods and open them and eat the green ones. Some green onions. These are red onions actually, so I will pick in between and leave a few to make heads. Those are peas again. Here on the edge, as you see, I have again pumpkins and sometimes melons. And there you have garlics once again. Well, no matter what you say, folks, garlic is the queen of the kitchen. I like garlic a lot. Here we have marjoram growing by itself. cilantro. They're down like this because I've just watered them. Here I have basil, which hasn't sprouted out yet. These are small rounded radishes, and this one, let me see. Yeah, celery. Radishes once again. And then you see on the edges of the walls I have planted beans. Beans are everywhere in the garden. These are just sprouting. I'm adding strings for them to climb up. I have 6 different types of beans planted in different places of the garden. So this trench I've dug to put a water pipe underneath. I will extend the water pipe and I will have 9-10 taps in different places. Under the trees here I have melons, which will be growing into the middle. Here as well, everywhere, melons and pumpkins. And under 6 of those trees, which are closer to the building, to the house, guess what I've planted? Loofah. So when it comes out, I've stuck some iron bars here in the ground. I will tie ropes and extend it to the house, and you will have a huge jungle of loofah climbing up to the house. Here is cilantro as well. This is mint between the trees under the shade. These are shade loving plants, especially the cilantro. And for those greens which grow very fast, relatively fast, I plant in different places actually. Here, melons and pumpkins again under the tree. So you have to plant in different places at different times so that you will always have some. That applies to cilantro, small radishes. Here in this bed, these are big radishes which grow like half a kilo to a kilo each. So I will probably thin them out a little bit. Next to them, I don't know how it's called in English. I think it's called garden beet. It's from the family of the beet root, but it doesn't make a root. It's just the leaves. In Arabic they call it sila. It's big leaves, green. Here we have mint, which I had planted last autumn. I keep cutting it all the time. Beans growing on the edge and strings on the wall to raise the beans. More garlic. Here it's big radishes, again a different type. I have planted 3 different types of big radishes, and one of them is the Japanese daikon, which grows to 2 kilograms. More beans, a bit of mint there, and this is spinach. Spinach I've already harvested once. This is another round which I have planted, and I have another place as well under the tree where I have planted spinach. More beans to climb up, and the interesting part, let me go on the other side for here. These are 6 rows of cucumbers and Armenian cucumbers. So I have these poles and lots of wires above, I will put hooks and extend lines to raise these cucumbers up once they grow a bit larger. Here we have one row of tomatoes, a second row of tomatoes, and a third row of tomatoes. These two rows I've planted yesterday and they are still in transplantation shock. See, they are bending, they need continuous watering to wake up. These I've planted about a week ago, they're doing fine, and I have put strings to raise them, to tie them up. On both sides of the tomatoes we have different things planted, mostly big radishes and beetroot. See, the beets are coming out. These are not planted thick, so I will not, it's not for the leaves, I will leave them to make bulbs. See, under the wall you have beans once again and lots of lines to extend them up. So I'm trying to use every inch and corner without overcrowding. Here we have